Today is September 11th. The Yankees win a big series against the Rays to finish off the season series against the Rays. And it's kind of good stuff, I think. Excited to talk to Jake about it. You guys can listen in.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talking Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talking Yanks, presented to you by SeatGeek. My name's Jimmy. His name is Jake, BBD, in the corner. And we got kind of a, Jake said it before the show, like kind of a normal series recap. A 3-game series over the weekend. They won it. There's some updates to be had. The biggest update is how I emotionally feel. But Jake, I want to see how you're doing first.
James, Davis, everyone joining us. 8 p.m. prime time record on this first football Sunday. How about those G-men? Go check out Talkin' Giants. That's going to be the most fun episode they've ever put together. And a fun regular episode for us. How about it? Man, things have been all over the map for like 2 months almost. Jack Curry on the Yes Post game was like, yeah, it's been about 2 months now. And to get here, to get to a big series, and I mean, if I had to bet on it, I probably would have said we win the first game, Jeter night, packed house, maybe Montes climbs the ladder and gives us another good one, and then the rest of the series we're battling and hoping to get one. Flip the script. I think everyone was scared Friday night going into Saturday. And man, the boys came out and did it, and you got to give them credit. Probably the 2 biggest games of the year up until this point, and they put up crooked numbers in the first inning each time. Unbelievable from where we were and where we're at, and you know, some of the Stanton and Gleyber stuff, and maybe even Daddy Donaldson. What hopefully it can mean something, but man, huge games that for this final now like 4 weeks of the season let us enjoy it just a little bit differently, and that's hopefully very important.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at. So as far as how well will this team do in the postseason, that's still a huge anxiety and worry for me. But the division was on the line the last 2 series against the Rays. Like if they got swept, the division was going to be on the line the rest of the way. All right. And they avoided the sweep the last time when they were in Tampa, and that was huge to make it a 5-game instead of 3. And then the win yesterday on the middle series to make it so they win the season series. And then the winning game 3, it's 5.5 in the standings, but it's really 6.5 because if they end up tied, the Yankees get the division. 6.5 game lead. They don't play each other again. They have a harder schedule than the Yankees do. The division's, I'm not going to say locked up, but I'm not worried about it. It's not a place of anxiety anymore for me, which is huge. I feel great about that. Now, all I get to do for the next 3 weeks is worry about what team we're bringing to the postseason roster, and who's going to perform and not perform, because there's still a lot to worry in that regard. But I did not want to go down the stretch worrying about the division. So I'm super happy about that.
Yeah, it's always fun to look at the standings, and it's kind of like who's the company you're keeping? And the Rays, if they kind of took care of this series, they would have been hanging out with us. Now they're hanging out with the Jays, who those two are about to play 5 games against each other. They're separated by a half game. So if one of those teams really dominates a 4 out of 5 or even a 5 out of 5, then maybe they can get involved with us. But
Curry did the math. If the Yankees go 10-11,
right,
they have to go 19-4 it's really not worth worrying about. Like the Yanks should have the division locked up.
I agree. I guess, honestly, Jim, I think the bigger fear for me would be Toronto. Is if Toronto dominates the Rays, we still have 3 games against Toronto. So that would be the only thing
But
where
they're even farther back.
they're a half game back. So, I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
But it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but we play them. That's the whole point of the Rays. We're not playing them anymore.
Yeah.
So if the Yankees were to fall off in the next week and a half, which, like you said, there's still some questions and different things going on in the lineup. You're right. I'm not worried about it. In a week and a half at Toronto, could it be a discussion? I hope not. But they took care of their business, and they had to. And I know I make jokes about fortitude, and they're coming up later in the episode, but they showed a lot of fortitude. And like I said, the things that will matter.
They got to win one of those Toronto games.
Right. And hey, maybe they roll and Toronto's about to get swept, and then in 4 days it's over. So, but just checking P's and Q's. But yeah, man. I mean, it's exciting. Even a couple of the injury updates. I know we're gonna get into the games, but we got to check some boxes. Bader played today. He
went 1 for 3 with a walk.
1 for 3 with a walk. 1 for 3, and he stole a base. So he's like, if you're doing that, that means you're feeling pretty good. So we'll see what kind of timeline they put him on. And Rizzo is in the dugout and supposedly feeling well after getting his blood patch after his pregnancy. So I don't know. That's good news.
Yeah, they said the headaches went away instantly. Like whatever it was magic. Like that powder Paxton gives me.
Yep.
So
that's a reference
awesome.
Everyone will get.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, the blood patch, you'd actually love it. Really funky Google search. I know Cuddy was tweeting out some stuff too, but yeah, I mean, Rizzo was in the dugout like having a blast, and hopefully this rest is back. And that's one more thing. Like, hey, Marwin, appreciate you, dog, but would love to start penciling in that Rizzo guy, especially in October. So that was a big update. The scary one, DJ had some like sad DJ quotes, which is a bummer.
I didn't see those. What were they?
He was just like, I mean, it was sad DJ and it was great DJ. He was just like, well, my foot really hurts and I really can't like turn on it to hit. And if I can't hit, then I shouldn't be taking at bats away from other guys. So he ended up in like an awesome DJ place, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's going to be searching for creative solutions. I wonder if he even tries to like change up his stance or something to see if he can hit the ball. But that was the bad update.
Yeah, that's a bummer. And Stan got some hits and nearing him in. And we're at that magical date now that I've been talking about forever, September 12th, when they really started caring. So we'll see if it happens. I watched Britton and Chapman pitch in Double-A. I tweeted it out. It's Double-A. Chapman, Chapman I didn't care about. I just wanted to see. He was working on stuff. I think his fastball plays in Double-A very easily. So I don't think it means anything. Britton, I was very interested in the movement of his stuff. And his curveball, it was looking good. So it's still kind of blown away by that. Castro also pitched. I kind of tuned that out.
7 pitches, 1 inning. Yeah.
That's why. I mean, I went back and I looked at it, but it was like, it wasn't enough to like see what he was doing.
And I think the other update, Sevy is coming back Friday or Thursday.
They said he was doing one more rehab start. I don't know what the date of return is.
Right. So, but yeah, I know, Sevy will be here soon. Britton, I think that's the one that everyone kind of has circled right now. If you read through the tea leaves, the way Jack Curry's talking about it, and there's a question in the presser tonight that was, I think Britton's looking like Zach Britton, which that could have a big impact on the season. It still could also.
What's his velo? What did Britton sit at last time he was around? I can Google it.
Like in the big leagues with the Yanks?
Yeah. Like effective Zach Britton that we know.
Can look it up. Not sure. I top of my head, I would guess like 93, 94.
Oh, okay. He threw like 192 today. He threw another 95. But the curveball looked good, or the whatever. It's not really a curveball.
So last year, 2021, which I think was a small sample, right? He sat 93. Well,
then that adds up. But
2020, he sat 95. So
okay, so he's a little down. We'll see. But I mean, it's exciting that they beat the Rays, and we're gonna get into this whole series. But kind of my other thoughts were just, I know the Yankees have been downright bad for 2 months, right? But the Rays were never a bugaboo this year, and that feels good. Like getting the season series against them. I still can't name half their players. I'm not using that as a shot. Usually I can name all their players because they fucking crushed the Yankees. But their lineup today, I was like, I know the names. Like I know Isaac Paredes, he went off on the Yankees once, but then there was like Peralta. I didn't know that. And then Arenada, and I didn't know that kid. Arnada, what's his name? He only played like 7 games. Aranda.
Yeah, he just got called up. Peralta's the guy they traded for my Snakes at the deadline, so I feel a little insulted there.
That's that Peralta?
Yeah.
I know that. I know him, obviously, D-Train, but I forgot he was on the Rays. That's what they haven't been in my brain. Like the last 2 years, 2020, 2021, I lived in fear of the Rays. Maybe 2019 too. Like every series was like, oh fuck, oh this, oh that, and it didn't feel that way this season. It felt like, in a way, they overcame that aspect of like, we can't play at the Trop. What was their record at the Trop? Was it even bad?
I'd have to look that up. I don't know.
I'll look it up.
But
I had that today too. I was like, you know what? That's good. And no team really had them. It wasn't the Orioles last year had their number.
Right.
The Blue Jays, maybe 18 or something. There was a year where the Blue Jays had them. So that feels good.
None of the AL East teams were really a thorn.
Yeah. Looks like 2019. I think the Rays were still a bit of a thorn on the side. Yanks went 12-7 against them, but they kind of crushed everyone else in the division. Toronto was in the same boat as them, but they destroyed Boston and the Orioles.
And I think the other thing with the Rays, Yankees fans, and I think we'll talk about it especially after game 1, the injury bug hit us. Like that was kind of the eye-opening moment. Like it kind of happened. It felt like it started happening just spaced out so perfectly that it was just like, what? How did we get here? The Rays have been, I think the Yankees have had 27 IL stints this year, and the Rays have had 39 or something. So,
oh yeah, they've been brutalized.
They've been slaughtered, and they're starting to get healthy. Like this was Wander Franco's first series back. B. Lau just came off the IL. Those are supposed to be 2 of their best players. And yeah, it was. The Yankees winning this series was huge. The Rays were not a thorn this year. They are getting better. Coming into this series, I think they were 19-4 in their last 23 games or something. So for the Yanks, obviously, sounds repetitive at this point, but for them to turn up the screws, put up a 10 spot in both of these games after the offense not being there, and really needing these to breathe the rest of the way, incredible stuff by the boys.
5-5 at the Trop this year, so 500, which is good.
Take that every year.
Yeah. The one interesting note, talk about Donaldson coming back and Rizzo coming back and all being in the dugout and just seeing that. Rizzo and Donaldson are also 2 of the more well-regarded baseball players at picking up tips on pitchers. And it definitely seemed like they had something on Gleyber. Two whiffs, all his whole outing. They were just putting the ball in play, and you wonder the dynamic there. Rizzo, get back to the dugout. We need you to look at this guy's fingers and tell us if you can pick something up. And Donaldson's regarded as being really good at that as well. So you never know how much them being on the bench helps in other ways. Like all of a sudden, Gleyber's turning on fastballs that he knows are coming.
Crush Patino today, yeah, and we shout out to some of the guys in the Yankees. Scouting department, we know they are elite at that. So I don't know if they've had to bust out a trick that they've been saving up for a while because Gleyber had killed them this year. But man, what a time to have it! And I think we should talk about it.
Yeah, I also fell into a sharp stats. So I don't know if I save it for the midweek episode because I basically like wrote a sharp stats in the name in the voice of Katie Sharp. I was just in a deep hole and I want to share it really bad, but I also it probably fits next episode better, so maybe I'll save it.
Pitchers the Yankees have seen.
No, I'd love to do that. People got mad at me about that tweet, and I'm just like, I want to make a Twitter account where it's just Yankees fans following. I don't know how to do like what?
Yeah. Well, Jim, there's one thing you do like. It's called Muggsy Jeans.
I love Muggsy jeans. The weather's starting to get a little crisper, so jean season's coming up.
It's Muggsy Jeans season. I was walking the streets last night, a streetwalker, one might say, in my Muggsy jeans. It was a beautiful night. And I like wearing my black Muggsies. That's kind of like, okay, Dad's looking good tonight. I also have a green pair that's like, all right. Jake's got that funk to him. They've got regular denim. They've got their Muggsy denim. It's proprietary stretch. So it feels like you're wearing sweatpants, but you look stylish. They're the most damn comfortable jeans. A true story. We got in touch with them because John said, these are the pair of jeans I wear. We should be partners with them. They reached out, or they looked into their order system. They saw Jimmy had ordered a bunch of jeans. They said, all right, fire it up. And now they've been with us for a little while, basically throughout this whole season. So fall is coming, people. Go get yourself some Muggsies at Muggsy.com. And with code JOHNBOY, you will get 10% off your entire order. That's code JOHNBOY, 10% off your entire order. Go check them out at Muggsy.com.
Get them.
Get them.
Let's burn game one. Sure. It was fun.
Sure. A big 3-game set against the Tampa Bay Rays, and it's Derek Jeter night at the stadium. Good vibes, I know, 'cause I was there. Disco Drew Rasmussen versus Frankie. Please don't make us moan toss. Top one, the Rays feel like dancing. Hey, Rosarena. Oh, RBI double for Randy. It's 1-0 Rays. Top four, Hicks to the sticks, kinda literally. Benched after dropping a ball down the left field line and freezing up afterwards. It's 4-0 Rays. Yeah. A little bit of fortitude by that Judge guy, and Higashioka, the home run stroker. How about it? Bottom 9, what fortitude to make it fortitude. Bottom 9, Torres with a swing and a drive. Get the Gleyber bombs ready at Billy's. Lesai. Warning track. Montes to Litke to the Web Dog. Yankees lose 4-2.
Bummer of a game. I will say seeing the ceremony was awesome. I feel bad for how spoiled we are, Jake.
Okay.
Because, and Kay talked about this on the radio. He said people that grew up that were, 8 to 14 years old during those Yankees teams, they're 30 now, and they are just, those are their idols.
Crazy horny. Oh,
it's us. But, my dad watched those teams, right? He was an adult, though. So because it didn't get him in his formative years, I don't think it stokes the same thing it does for me and people my age. And like even BBD, you weren't cognitively alive during that at all. Like you only know it through tales, right? You might have been alive, but you don't remember watching the 90s teams. Were you alive, BBD?
The first season I can remember is like end of 04.
So yeah, so not really the championship teams.
Born in 97.
So I feel bad for you, BBD, because me and Jake, our age group is so lucky to have like a fucking gaggle of heroes. I tweeted, you could run those 5 guys out. From now until I'm dead, I'm tuning in and I'm getting like like when your eyes well up of nostalgia and like fuzzy feelings. And I think if I was BBD's age or if I was 10 years older, I don't think it hits me the same because things that happen in your formative years stick so much. That is awesome.
And I mean, that's, no Paulio, no Bernie. Like there's other dudes that were massive parts of that team. Even like, Coney in the booth. I know in a way he was a part of it, but those guys like Tino Martinez, I don't know what to tell you. It felt like they were always in the big spot and they always came through and they were a team and they were always out there. And it was awesome. I was with Joe's. We were enjoying it. I was looking for Bernie. I kept expecting him to like pop out with the guitar. I don't know what he had going on. But that's fine. And yeah, I mean, Jeets is the best, man. That's, all of the names, whether Jorge, Tino, Bernie, Mo, Pettit, Posada, even going to the next generation of CeCe who was chilling there. I mean, Jeter was Jeter. maybe it's the reason why we have some hot takes on the shortstop position. It's that he was the guy. And even, everyone, I'm assuming most people that watch this listened to the Jeter doc, watched it because it was a documentary. Jeter is all sorts of pissy that A-Rod came over and gave up the shortstop position. Like, what are you, nuts? And yeah, in a way. So yeah, that was really cool. Mr. Torrey being out there. Joe's got me good, and then he got the internet good when he was like, I think Torrey pulled Hicks. Just because he was in the building. So yeah, and eventually you get to the game, and it's a little bit of a bummer because how it goes down, and it was like, hey, on a night like this, the one thing I need you to not do is give up a run in the first inning. Rays swing at the first 3 pitches, and there's a run on the board. So that's Rays going Rays, and that kind of popped the balloon that when it's 4-0, and you look at the Yankees lineup, and your 3-hitter gets pulled after 2 strikeouts and dropping a fly ball, that you're looking around kind of loopy. Wooga, wooga, wooga.
Yeah, I don't know what individual stuff players are going to be getting awards. They pull in Hicks. I mean, Boone played it like it was. I texted you. I don't think it was a benching. I know Hicks said it was. Boone said it wasn't. I don't believe it was. I think that was a fatherly moment to not hear the wrath of boos. Like sending him up to the plate there, how sad he looked. That's the thing about some of these Yankees is they get so sad that then it's like hide them from themselves or hide them from the people. That was Boone hiding, sheltering Hicks from the big bad fans of New York, which maybe he needed.
I think Boone kind of said that after, no?
Boone did. Hicks
I got him out of there.
Hicks said, I got benched.
Yeah, I guess.
He said Boone told him, you're out.
In the way, it's the same result. So I
same
guess
result. Yeah, but a lot of people are like, finally he benches someone. I'm like, I don't think it was talked to that way.
Yeah, I in my head they're the same thing, so I don't know.
Well, benching is going up to a dude and be like, you're out of the game. You didn't hustle. You're on the bench. You didn't perform. That's a benching. You get told you did wrong and to sit in it and pout. And it's all right, Hicksy. Everyone misses balls every now and then. Let's get you out of here. These guys are pretty riled up.
Yeah, I guess I have it more in the, like when your parents are angry at you, that's the benching. When your parents are disappointed in you and that's worse, I still think that's a benching, and I think that's what he got. He's like, I think it was Boone kind of being like, you and I both know I can't send you back out there, dude.
Yeah, yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah, I guess in my brain, I have them labeled same but different. And then, yeah, man, I don't know. We didn't know if Stanton was available. They go to him in the 6th, which was kind of cool. And now knowing where Stanton ended up, it's a better feeling. Yeah, and then Florial and Tilo comes in as a pinch hitter after he got pinch hit for by Marwin. So they were just hunting for buttons to press, even though they don't really have any buttons.
None of it made sense.
Yeah.
None of it made sense. I don't mind the way they're handling Stanton. I really don't. I mean, you need him for the postseason. And like when he came back, he said he was going to be in a lot of pain still. He couldn't swing. He had to come out of a game because he was hurt. So if it's not playing, one at bat, DH, and that was the plan, whatever. The at bat was cool. It was a really ballsy curveball pitch, 3-2. I mean, he just behind on fastballs, but it looked better as the series went.
Yeah. So that's where you get some of the hope. Andujar with 2 hits in this one. I wonder how much we're going to be talking about him.
Was he walking off the field slow again? No one sent me videos.
So it is tough. Like, we had the behind home plate cam where me and Joe's were sitting. And I mean, left field is out there. Like you'd have to really time it well to sneak in there. I think he's feeling a little better juice. Like the doubleheader day we saw him, I think he knew he was supposed to head back down. And then they got the DJ update that he was going to the IL and Guzman was making his way off the team. So I think he's got a little bit like, hey, I might be on the team. And by the way, there's a little bit of a path for Andujar because left field still doesn't have a solution.
He looks fine out there. He ran one into the corner today.
Like, I feel like we're going to end up having Andujar, Oswaldo Cabrera conversation. So
I'm not saying he looks plus. I'm saying he looks fine.
No, he made that nice throw that could have been an outfield assist, but
he looks like at least an MLB level left fielder.
I mean, that's where you and I were talking. Some great conversations. You and Joe's going to the games. Go to the games with friends, people. BBD went to the game with some friends Friday night. We were making.
You guys weren't there together?
We were making fun of you guys.
Because we were way up there.
Yeah. Joe's didn't think you guys were in the stadium.
We basically weren't.
Where'd you sit?
It was me, Zach, Sam, Matty Mass, and Dalton Feely. Floorball.
He feels.
Yeah.
Yes.
How'd that happen?
I don't know. Sam texted me Monday saying we're going to the game Friday.
They were like,
I thought Jake and Joe's were with you guys.
They were like under the facade.
Yeah. We were in the very last row, which when you get to the very last row, that's nice. You can stand without worrying about it.
In the third deck?
Oh, yeah.
We're on the fourth.
Why didn't you guys move?
We were chilling.
It was cheater
Like
night. It was
up
pretty
there?
packed.
It was pretty packed.
They're calling
by the
those
end,
the
we
sex
could've
seats
moved.
these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, why do you think
Baseball's
we
got a
brought Dalton
problem.
Feely?
BBD and Zach and Dalton Feely. Yeah, there's some blimp jokes being made. Not publicly, not till now. But yeah, I don't know. Andujar, he's got a little bit of hope, and that's when we went to the game. I was telling you, like, you could see from Andujar's body language, like in his head, he's checked the boxes. Like I think he's like, I can play left field, like catching fly balls and throwing it in. I can do that. And I've been hitting at AAA. I've checked those boxes and I still haven't gotten the chance. And now I think after Guzman and a couple more injuries, I think he feels like he might have an actual opportunity. So we'll see. I think the only other real combo from this game, Higgy has a nice night. Love that. Judge is unstoppable. Do we do a Montas thing now? Do you think we're talking about him later? Montas?
You go first in MFer, so it's so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's really tricky because you don't give like Hicks an MFer. That goes back to the old benching. I think we'll save it then.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, everybody hit. Okay, teaser.
Anything else about game one? They lost. Rasmussen had that cutter, and he just kept throwing that cutter. I mean, you were at the game, so you guys couldn't see it. I don't know if you saw any replays, but I mean, he just kept throwing the cutter. I was watching with my dad on the couch, and I was like, Dad, at one point I looked at it, it was 60% of the time. I was like, why is he throwing other pitches? And they couldn't hit it. It was pretty cool. It was like a very tight slider. And then he had a slider as well that was a little more, but he threw 50 at the end. It was 51% cut fastballs with a 46% whiff percentage by the Yankees. Like they just never figured it out.
Throw that good pitch, kind of like the Corbin Burns in Milwaukee. I mean, not to be shots fired at Drew Rasmussen. If his name wasn't Drew Rasmussen. And by the way, he is young and he's really good. He's 27. He's who they got in the Willie Adames trade, who's been killing it for the Brewers. Like, go look at that dude's stat page. 2.57 ERA. He's going to start a full season.
Is it maybe Rasmussen?
Tough to say. I'm not good with the Nordic. Rasmussen seems a little.
Why don't they just call him Drew?
Because I don't think that represents his last name.
We have no idea. Could be Rasmussen.
Definitely not.
You don't know.
Game 2?
How would you pronounce Favre?
Favre.
See?
Yeah.
Some radio people in the 90s fell into that trap.
Sure did. Some still are.
Game 2. I'm ready. It's a doozy.
Sure is.
1, 2, burn.
A lot of Yankee fans debating hitting the bottle of Jameson as Tyone takes the bump against Yankee legend and Yankee killer this year, Corey Kluber. But in one of the biggest games of the year, the system is down. The system is down. The Yankees look like that scene from Office Space where they're beating up on the printer. 7 straight hits to start the game, but screw 7. I'm talking about 6, baby. I'm talking about you and me. It's 6-0 after 1. I love it. I love it. Torres, Cabrera, Andujar. Roll those R's. I can't. Higashioka, Judge. It's 6-0 after 1. Make it 7. We're bringing some rain. Donaldson, the new dad, after pimping a single off the top of the wall, decides to send one over it. The game was over. Tyone with a big boy starts. Line doesn't look as good as he was. 7.1, 3 earned, 8 Ks as a couple of his inherited runs score in the 8th. But how about a little Giancarlo? Let the rhythm take you over, Giancarlo. Off a position player. I don't care. He homers his first extra base hit since before the All-Star game. This guy was the All-Star game MVP. J-Mo to Lou to Johnny. Kind of greasing it. Yankees win a big game. 10-3 final.
Good job by you. Good job by the Yankees. Good job by Josh Donaldson. Reminding everyone that the paternity list comeback. I did a stats that exist but don't matter on like people rake when they come back from paternity. So Trevino, I'm excited for you. But yeah, this was perfect because Katie on Friday, my wife, decided that we were going to host 4 couples from our block and have a little backyard block party, which was nice. It's nice to meet the people you live by and stuff. Bunch of young families pregnant or just gave birth to little kids. And they came over like 1:45 and I was like, well, shit, Katie, I'm have the game on my phone. Like, I won't be blah, blah. 6-0. After the first, I was like, aha, I can put this down in the background. No problem, my dear. Yeah. Easy peasy. So that was super cool.
No, it's funny. Same exact thing, except by myself. Jess was on her bachelorette this weekend. Key Jess. The girls had a blast. Fun one for talking baseball tomorrow. Ryan Mountcastle's fiance was on her bachelorette, and they linked up and had a good time. So me and Ryan Mountcastle.
Just randomly?
Just randomly. Like 2 bachelorette parties in Key West. So me and Ryan
You and Mountcastle should have your bachelor party together now.
We're boys. That's always been the plan. But yeah, I was like, Yanks are up 6-0. Saturday, it's me and Noodle. I'll probably watch the game from the gym. Didn't watch the whole game from the couch. Just kept thinking about things I could do, and then went to the gym after the game. But I was like, dude, I was kind of soaking in it. Because my boy Tyone, who I've been defending for a while now, he has a big one. The Yankees offense explodes. Like, I was kind of bathing in like a nice Yankees win. And like, Donaldson, you start talking yourself into crazy things with him. Stanton hits the foul pole, and you're like, okay, like make that matter. So, yeah, it was, Judge continues to be as dominant of a baseball player as I've ever seen.
He's going for the batting title now.
Yeah. Yep. And then he's got the on-base thing. 7 straight games he got on base 3+ times or something. That hadn't been done since Gehrig or one of the Mantle, excuse me. One of the guys you hear about. This was awesome.
Yeah. I was gonna bring something up. They only had 2 swings and misses. I want to find out who were they
On Kluber, right?
on Kluber. Yeah.
Yeah, Kluber's final line, 0.2, 8 hits. And that was the other thing where I think the schedule gods helped us out a little bit with the Blue Jays.
Oh, a ton. The Rays are going through it, too.
The Blue Jays going into a 5-gamer with Toronto after this. They let Kluber, and then they let Patino eat it, too, which ended up, ending both of these games with fantastic.
I mean, it is nice, and Rays can use it as somewhat of an excuse because they couldn't just kill their bullpen. Like Patino, they had to let him in. That sucked for them, and it was just great that the Yankees got to him early. I'm trying to find the swinging strikes. It was Andujar on an 0-2 curveball and Higgy on a 2-0 curveball. Those are the only 2 swinging strikes by them versus Kluber. All the singles, man.
Yeah. That was cool. Caster getting all riled up in the booth.
Those curveballs are more like sliders by Kluber. The one I just watched them, they weren't really there. But yeah, I don't know if he was tipping. I mean, it sure looks like he was. I know he wasn't hitting his spots at all. But they put everything in play, so maybe not. But it is suspect. Only 2 swings and misses out of however many pitches he threw. 32. Yeah. But he didn't look good. And then you're right.
The first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in the lineup had 2+ hits. Not got on base multiple times. 2+ hits, which that's cool, man. You don't see a lot of that in today's baseball.
Well, 8 of them got their first hit in the first inning.
So then you're looking for another.
Yeah. Sucks for Marwin. Popped out to the catcher in the first. Yeah. Everyone else got a single. The IKF single off Kluber's legs.
Higgy got out too.
Yes, but he got a run scoring out.
Right.
So he's part of the book.
Okay.
IKF hitting one up the middle off Kluber's legs. That made me laugh out loud. It's like, that was the 7th in a row. I was like, you guys aren't going to catch a break today.
I think that was the long con by Kluber. I think he was like, let me get going in Tampa, but I'll spy you guys one this year. And I think today was the day.
Yeah, the frustrating thing is Peraza goes straight back to the bench. And I think any hope we might have had for him to get playing time is done. It was truly because of paternity. We'll see how it goes, but he sits both days. He had 4 hits in the Minnesota series, so maybe if they lock up the division, they can have a little more fun with him. But if Donaldson hits, so be it, right? Because if Donaldson can hit for power, or even hit at all, so be it. We'll just don't have IKF botch one coming in. And then IKF kind of looked the day at third, game 1. He looked a little shaky.
Yeah, I mean the stadium vibe kind of everything changed. So I didn't know what to do with that. Yeah, I mean Peraza, if you're looking at it, you got to assume out for now. We'll see how the rest of this season develops, but like we talk and hope about getting guys back. Yeah, I mean they love IKF. We love a version of IKF, and we also know, and I think the bigger thing is they love Donaldson's defense at third, and partially rightfully so. So, I know we daydreamed about a first base Donaldson. We actually saw Oswaldo Cabrera taking some reps at first. Sure, kid. But, yeah, it's after running him out, I think 4 straight games while Donaldson was on paternity leave. It was IKF at third, Peraza at short, and then these 2 games where, by the way, they put up 10 spots, no Peraza, and I think that makes some people in the front office happy as well. So,
yeah, it makes sense. They want Donaldson to be good, and so do I. Anything else from this one? Any bullpen moves or replacements? I mean, they won by a lot, so
no.
I was a little upset they took Judge out. I don't want them to do that anymore. I fully understand it, right? But Stan hits a home run off the position player after Judge comes out and Tilo gets his at bat. Am I correct in that? I was watching a dinner party.
Stanton hits a home run off the position player. Judge had been pulled out of the game for Tilo. Yeah.
Chasing history here. I'm sure Judge would have loved to get in that bat versus the position player.
I'm a yes and a no on that. Because if Judge doesn't homer against the position player, then I think we might have put some bad juju in the air.
No, I just like him to get all the chances he can. Like in future blowouts, unless Judge personally says, I'm good.
Right.
But make sure that he's chasing something that's life-changing. Honestly.
Yeah. No,
like something he can make money on and just, it's life-changing. I'd give him every chance.
I'm okay with it.
When Stan homered is when I was like, and Judge gave a look down the dugout. I don't know if you saw it, very big side eye in the dugout. I'm totally inferring because it was just, Absolutely. You couldn't see who he was looking at. But my thought went, fuck. But Tilo gets the at-bat off the position player instead of Judge. They flied out, deep left. I think that's all. Loizaga looked good.
Yeah, I guess that was the only, especially with some of the guys in the bullpen, it was how are the Yankees going to get through these final innings? Are they going to throw Web Dog back out there? It would have been his third day in a row, so that kind of would have been rude to him. But yeah, they got
I'm coming around on Web Dog. They
got Trevino in, and he threw 7 pitches, and it was the first time he pitched in a while, so that's kind of good to see. And then he came back in today, so that's good news.
Yeah. Efros, any update on Efros?
They did. They gave an Efros update. They said, I think they were eyeing that 20th, 21st date for Efros. I forget. They linked it to it. They tied his thing to another player. And they were like, yeah, these 2 guys are eyeing like probably the 20th. And it was like, what?
Bader?
I'll see if I can.
They might speed Bader up and bring him to Milwaukee, but I still think they might.
Marley Rivera, Harrison Bader could be in play for the Yankees' return for their homestand September 20th, as well as Scott Efros.
That's the date I have for Bader, but
it's funny she threw in Efros.
Yeah, I guess that's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's do game 3. Another fun one.
Domingo. How about that? Herman versus young Rays starter Luis Patino. Why do I always have the girl from Ipanema stuck in my head? It's a rubber match in the Bronx. Bottom 1. Gleyber bombs. Torres goes opposite field. How about that? 391, and it's 3-0 Yanks. Top 2 Siri, 1 run please. 3-1 as the Rays get on the board, but the Yankees would score the next touchdown. Football's back, baby. Judge, sack, fly. Giancarlo, let the rhythm take me over. A 3-run Jimmy Jack, and then Gleyber does it again. Is he? Could he? Has he? And how about a little fun for it? Cabrera, the kid gets his first, and you know who he is. He's going to enjoy it a little bit. It's 10-1 Yankees. Rays throw on some tack-on runs. Boring. Don't care. Herman to Litke to Weiser to Wandy to Lou to Ronnie to Clark to Clay. Yankees win the series 2-3 against the Rays, and whoop whoop, 10-4 final.
Whoop whoop. 10-4. You get it, BBD? Over and out.
I got it.
Had it.
Lot of pitchers.
Yeah.
How about the Yankees raid the Rays?
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit you did.
And we didn't see it coming this time because we forget. That's how much the Rays aren't on my radar.
Yeah.
Last year, if they announced that they're starting Herman on short rest, I am on the podcast and saying this. They're trying to do something. This stinks. They're trying to do something. They're trying to outraise the Rays. I didn't see it coming because it's just not how my brain has worked all season. I haven't lived in fear of the Rays. But when they did it, and they had Litke warming up, I'm like, these fuckers. They tried to raise the Rays again. Problem is the Rays bad hitters are just so bad.
Yeah. It made sense, and that's what was funny. Because, sometimes we wonder why Yankees do a lot of their BS. And it's for days like today. Curry got. Because everyone was doing the math on it. It was like, okay, maybe they'll throw Cole on short rest because this is a big series. But it was like, well, Cole's last start, he threw 118 bullets or something like that. So they're not. So they go, oh, Herman, okay, well, maybe this is even his last start before they call Sevy up. I know some people thought Sevy might get snuck into this game as a sneaky Yankees move. And then it was like, okay, Herman, sure, short rest. Maybe they'll get 3 or 4 out of him, and then maybe that'll be his progress towards the bullpen. No, they went full Rays. They went full bullpen day. JMO had helped save it. And with 2 off days coming up next week, they got to use it like that. So when you hear about the off days, and then you put it together that they were throwing Herman, yeah, they did it, and it looked good. It looks good when it works, and it worked well today, especially. And again, you know what makes anything look well? A 10-run lead. So shout out to the offense again for some mashed potatoes, especially that Gleyber kid. Huge. When
they went to Litke, I was like, oh, they were going to give Litke the bulk of it. He's going to go 2.2. They leftied him, but then they took Litke out before the inning even ended, brought in Weiser to close it, and I was like, what the hell's going on? That move really, I was like, what? I know Litke gave up 2 hits, but it was early. I thought you just ride him for as many pitches. And then it was actually Wandy Day.
Which is fun. I mean, he throws 20 pitches, which is second to Clark and right around Disco, Ron, and Clay. But yeah, 2.1 in 20 pitches. So, yeah, I mean, great job. They used it as a throw day for the bullpen.
You see Marwin not give Wandy a dap up off the mound.
Whole sequence was fantastic. He got a smile out of IKF on the field, which is very difficult to do.
You see my names tweet? A lot of like Wandy versus Wander and Wandy versus Yandy.
Yeah.
And then a Randy, a Wandy, a Yandy, and a Randy.
You're a big names guy.
I mean, that's odd. Those are all interesting. Katie was like, what's Wandy's real name? And I was like, I think it's Wandy.
Yeah.
Does he have a longer name?
I think it's Wandy.
That's awesome.
Looks like just Wandy, yeah.
I mean, it feels like Wandy would have 2 kids that would be Yandy and Wander.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Randy, but they call him Rondy.
Rondy's not invited.
Okay.
Randy tries to come in, and they're like, no, man. Our names are Wander and Yandy. You can't try to sneak in with that Rondy stuff.
I mean, Yonder Alonso, if he was around and on the team, that'd be amazing.
Pick him up.
Nah, he's busy.
He is working.
Yeah, the bullpen just went crazy, which is great. Really good to see. Because there was a time when like everyone was faltering a little bit. The bullpen's kind of been good. And then the offense, Gleyber with 2 homers. I gave him the Make It Matter award. after last series for hitting the homer against the Twins, having the nice defensive plays, and then he goes out and does that, which really, I don't. If you remember a couple episodes ago, it was like, what's the recipe? There was the bucket Gleyber was in, like him, IKF Donaldson, and he was our only hope. We were like, Gleyber, he's the only one that has done it this year at one point. He's the only one that we like really think can step up and be an 800 OPS guy again. He's a big part of that part of the recipe. So fingers crossed, man, that this turns into another, like, he finishes strong. We get first season Gleyber back, because that's amazing. It'd be a big change.
Yeah, it's a little bizarre, and I don't know. We might be talking about him more, so I'll save some of it. But yeah, I mean his numbers on the year now are like his OPS plus is slightly above league average. It's just his bat has been so bad. But yeah, and the two parts of that were Donaldson kind of got ignored because he just hasn't gone this year. There's been no go button, so maybe Daddy Donaldson can make us think different things. Hopefully that can be a stat we see in October. Since Donaldson had his daughter, he's been a 900 OPS guy. And Stanton was in an injury bucket. We had no idea what was going on. So yeah, of non-injury things that we thought could be fixed, our favorite Talkin' Yanks episode every year, Gleyber was one. And yeah, I hope this goes. And dude, I'll stop because I think we're going to talk about him more.
Okay. Stop then.
I stopped. I ceased.
I have ceased.
And I ain't talking Dylan.
Ba-da-da.
Baseball raps.
So that ends the first half of the show then.
It sure does, Jim. And it's pretty cool the reality we're living in now,
I guess so. Tell me more.
Win Reality, Jim. Today, we're telling you about Win Reality, the VR baseball training application available on the Meta Quest 2 that gives players access to unlimited game speed reps no matter where they are. I think we're doing some fun stuff with these guys soon. Might even be making our own content out of it. And if I believe, yes, this is you might have seen the CC commercial. Both CCs actually are using this. Really cool technology. The hitters are fighting back against the pitchers, and they've got 600 plus pitchers in there. And basically, this is your way to get reps and see pitches without having to leave the comfort of your own home. It's a revolutionary tool that is changing the game and the baseball offseason. Any weather, hitters can see increased confidence and improvement at the plate. So, if you're a ball player, ball player. Head to winreality.com/Yanks to sign up today. winreality.com/Yanks. This is kind of the future of baseball. Everyone's been wondering how the hitters were going to counter the pitchers and all the technology back there. Matt Blake in the gas house. What?
That?
This is the way to do it. So go check them out. winreality.com/Yanks to sign up today.
Today.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Yeah.
Pride of the Yankees, Jake. You get to go first. I'm super interested in who you're giving it to.
You know what, man? I will just keep it rolling. I'm a momentum guy. I always have been, always will be. I will go with Gleyber Torres.
Sounded a lot like you were going with Gleyber Torres.
I had one other option I really liked, but I'm going with Gleyber. We just talked about it. And Jim, hopefully he gets going. There's a couple things. I've got two things Daddy was going to mention because they're Gleyber Torres' tell. Is he having fun, and is he driving the ball the other way? And he was doing both, and he did it in the first inning today, which was huge to follow up the big game yesterday. Even in the losing effort, he drove one opposite field to the warning track that could have been a potential game changer. It's so funny and how obvious it looks, and obviously Gleyber knows this to a degree. And that is where I was just saying, and I stopped myself because I want to say it here, James, I will ask you, and I'll tell the Talkin' Yanks people to go check out Gleyber's interview after the game, because it was the most real the young man has been, and it was fantastic. Sometimes the Yankees, and especially when there's a language barrier, imagine me going to play baseball in Germany and having to give a presser after the game. It would be brutal. Gleyber gets in front of the mic, and one of the reporters asked him, like, how did it feel going through, kind of your most recent struggle? And he kind of just looked at him and he's like, it was bad. It was bad. And I really appreciated that. Like, he could have gave a pretty generic, I work on my stuff and hope the results come. And he gave a straight up, like, it was bad. I was having a bad time. And guess what? That's great, Gleyber. Because it was bad. And this happens to baseball in everyone. Sometimes not that bad, but we know he's a dude that hears stuff. We talked about it, whether it's shortstop last year, whether it's the trade deadline this year, whatever it is. He's a young guy. He's connected. This could mean nothing at all. If there's a Yankee that posts something on Instagram, Gleyber's commenting on it. Guess why? Because he's like a kid that's on Instagram. I think some things you don't have to go too far on. I think Gleyber's pretty connected, and that's fine. Like, the people that aren't our world are only there because you're connected. Well, now we're on Yes Network. It's not a big deal. Had a lot of people saying hi this weekend. Pretty cool stuff. Thank you, everyone. Gleyber Torres. Hopefully, this is the one. Hopefully, like I said, with Donaldson, we're talking about since having his daughter, he's got a 900 OPS. I hope Gleyber keeps this rolling into the playoffs, because he's the one that can make the Yankees back to being special a little bit, right? Like, if the Yankees want to go into the postseason and be dangerous, it's Judge, it's Rizzo, it's Stanton, and then kind of that next tier now, especially where DJ's injury is at. We'll see what goes on with DJ, but it's Gleyber, because he can be an 800 OPS, really tough at-bat guy in the middle of the lineup, but when he goes in that shell, he's unplayable. So I loved his press conference today. I obviously loved the 2-homer game. He hits that ball the opposite field, and he knows it, and he enjoys it, and good, dude. So that's why I'm giving my pride to Gleyber Torres.
I love that after he hit the homer, he told the crowd, like, yeah, let's go. Like, because you think he'd just be, sometimes he gets so scared that I like how that's scared. He gets so down when he's down that it was cool to see him up and be like, no, come on now. Now you fuckers better cheer for me, which is the agreement, right? Like, it was awesome when Tyone got taken out. He waved to the crowd, and Kay said, or was it actually, it might have been Curry or Lorenz or Flaherty, forget who, but someone said, I like starting pitcher waves to the crowd. I like when they do that. More starters should do that. Well, it's easy when you're getting a huge standing ovation, but I think that's the time. But that same thing with Gleyber, like, that's the agreement. You're gonna boo me when I suck. You better cheer me when I'm good. And I like that he did it himself. Told the crowd, let's go.
And man, I think
I'd love Gleyber to get a little cocky, man. I mean, imagine cocky Gleyber. He'd probably be so good.
Or no, the other thing, and maybe it leads to a cocky confidence or whatever you want to call it. Being a Yankee's awesome. Like, a dumb statement of the year. Like, go look at some of the social media follows between, like, Andujar, Clint, and then go look at, I just looked at Ryan Mountcastle, who's been a starter for Baltimore the last 3 years. He's been in,
and you're sharing a
Rookie of the Year vote.
Rookie of the Year votes. He's he's a part of the new Baltimore core. On Instagram, Ryan Mountcastle has 18.5K followers. Miguel Andujar, who has been kind of off the team for 5 years, he has 155K. Being on the Yankees is pretty cool, and it looks like the light bulb went off on Gleyber's head. Like, you know what? If this is it, I'm going to enjoy it.
Oh, I think he saw Boulevard of Broken Dreams Andujar, and he was like, whoa, dude, what's got you so down, Miguel? And he was like, well, I'm trapped. Make sure you never get trapped. Cherish it. Cherish it, Gleyber, you know?
Yeah, it's
Billy Madison.
the light in the dark of it. Yes.
Maybe I'm onto it. Maybe Andujar pulled Gleyber aside and was like, fucking cherish this. So Gleyber started smacking the ball around, told the crowd, yeah, fuck you. Cheer for me.
And Booney talked about it probably a little more baseball-y. That he's like, it's always in Gleyber's lower half. I sent you and Joe's a video. His leg kick, it seemed like he's doing it a lot earlier now, and maybe that helps. I have no idea. I'm not on that level of hitting, but get it going, Gley.
In this series, he had 7 hard hit balls, 95 mile per hour exit velo or higher, the way Baseball Savant does it. And I think in the Twins series, he had 2. Like, you know, for that, I mean, his bad was the worst bad we've seen this season. So good job, Gleyber. Make it matter. Keep it going.
Who's your pride?
My pride might throw people for a loop. It's not the typical route, but I am proud of him, and he was my pride. It's Kyle Higashioka.
I thought you'd go there. Nice.
He got all 4 starts the last 4 games. That's only the second time he started 4 games in 4 days before without a game in between in his career. And they called Rortvedt up, and they had, you know, day games, day after a night. And they said, no, Rortvedt's a ghost, dude. It's all you, Higgy. And let him play. And Higgy starts hitting the ball. And you can crunch his numbers to be kind of good in a weird way. Not like amazing. But he was the only one hitting the ball hard in that first game. He had 3 hits. He gets the homer at the end, but all of his at-bats were just kind of good. No hits in game 2, does get an RBI, like on the ground out, and then a hit in this last game. I'm going to do the sharp set that I found out anyway.
Okay.
Higgy leads the league in caught stealing percentage right now.
Okay.
43%. He's thrown out 12 of 28 base stealers. Pretty good. The Yankees as a team are tied for first with the best caught stealing percentage. Trevino and Higgy combined have the best caught stealing percentage, tied in the majors. They also have allowed the least amount of stolen bases. So it's not like, yeah, their percentage is the best, but they allow so many. No, they also don't allow. The Yankees have allowed the least stolen bases in MLB this year. And when people do try to steal, they have the highest caught stealing percentage. They have the 3rd lowest attempts. So teams aren't even thinking about stealing on the Yanks. When you combine wild pitches, passed balls, and stolen bases, I think there should be a stat that combines those, like advancements.
Sure.
Based on pitcher and catcher. They are first out of all 30 teams with the fewest advancements of base runners, wild pitches, pass balls, stolen bases. The Yankees were awful at this last year. They were the worst team in baseball. They were the 27th in caught stealing. In percentage, they were 28th. In advancements, they were like bottom 5 as well. I didn't realize it was like that much of a change. It's pretty wild. And I will say, a lot of this is on Gary was bad with pass balls and wild pitches. A lot of it's on the pitchers and the holding them on. That was a big problem with Ottavino, with Chapman, with Dell and Betances. Like, they were always really bad at that part as well. And I think they made an emphasis to get better at it. But I did not realize they went basically from bottom 5 to top 5 in the league at the catching position on not allowing people to advance. And Higgy's a big part of that. 43% leads the league in caught stealing.
Higgy, since mid-June, you talked about the butter knife, 36 games, a 769 OPS, which from the catching position is no joke. It's actually really solid, plus the defense, like you're talking about. He's always been a good pitch framer. Trevino's been incredible at it this year. And yeah, on Rortvedt, I was wondering, I was like, is there maybe just like a little bit of pride that they've been the only 2 catchers to play this year? But Rob Brantley, our guy, did pop behind the dish for a game. So I guess that wasn't it. But no, Higgy going night game to day game. And yeah, like I know it's easy for us to sit here and be like, well, Higgy shouldn't be super worn out, but catch a major league game in your 30s and try to go out there the next day. I bet don't feel great.
Well, did Higgy also caught majority of the extra inning game the day before?
Yeah,
or the weekend before.
Second half.
I will say this, since we knock the Yankees on hot all the time, I do think that if Higgy doesn't go 3 for 3 with a homer game 1, he doesn't start the day game day 2.
I guess the only other thing that was in my head was like how much has Rortvedt actually worked with these pitchers, and do you want to risk that? Like if you're dealing with like not knowing what pitches they like and sequences against the Rays and stuff, like that feels like something that's not worth dealing with in that situation. Because Rortvedt, again, he was hurt at spring training, so he hasn't worked with any of these guys.
They're also just like, they just started Guzman and Florial and all these people, and they were probably like, we can't start Rortvedt now too. Like, we just got to start our guys.
So,
and he doesn't exist. That was the hardest part. Looked around the clubhouse and we're like, where is he? And they're like, he's over there.
He's with Writing.
It was like a whisper convention. Like, you saw him, right? Well, no, I didn't see him, but Bobby said he saw him.
Yeah, him and Writings, they just threw a pen. They both look good. Shout out to Hickster. Man, good for him. Good for him. And he's the dude, man. He's Higgy. He's been on this team for a while now. He's been in the org forever. He's been on the team since 2017. And like what you were saying with the base running and controlling the base running, I know at the beginning of the year they said Luis Rojas was a big part of that. But like you're saying as well, the Yankees front office definitely made a change. Like, go watch a game from 2018. They literally didn't care if you stole the base. They almost encouraged the pitcher to let the stolen base happen to focus on the hitter. And they have clearly and somewhat so obviously made the change that defense matters. Hashtag Harrison Bader.
They really didn't. I mean, it was very odd. They didn't. They cared about wild pitches and pass balls a lot.
Home runs,
a new catching
strikeouts.
Because what Gary could do when he came up was throw guys out. He was incredible at it. And they told Gary, we don't care about that. We'd rather you frame pitches. They told Gary, we don't even care about pass balls and wild pitches. I mean, that's not like a guess. Like, that is how they philosophize it. They thought framing pitches was more valuable than pass ball or wild pitches, because that's how they justified putting Gary on a knee when he couldn't move. But yeah, they clearly realized. I think the pitchers have gotten a lot better.
Nice.
Some teams are awful at it, which has shocked me. The Mariners only throw out 16% of base runners.
Big dumper.
Yeah. The White Sox, they're tied for lowest percentage, and they also have the most amount of stolen bases. So they're just like awful. 119 stolen bases against. The reason I got into this is the Yankees led the last 7 days. The Yankees have the most steals in the majors. But I was like, where? When? It was like 4 on Gary and then a bunch on Sandy Leon. It was all the Twins. And I was like, oh, they're stealing on Gary because they know they trained Gary to not care about throwing runners out. And then I was like, I wonder if they changed their philosophy. And then I dug in hours and I was like, oh, shit. Pretty funny they trained Gary not to care about that anymore. It was like his one weapon defensively. And then they play him and steal a bunch.
It's the long con.
Yeah. All right, let's get negative.
Yes.
You Yankee motherfucker.
My Yankee MFer. It's a tough one. I'm not doing Hicks. Marwin's not worth it. I'll go Band-Aid mode, and I referenced it before. I'll do Frankie the Yankee, Frankie Montas. Mostly because on Jeter night, you can't give up a run in the first, and he did. And even later, like, Hicks gets pulled because he didn't help him. I don't know, man. Just it feels uninspired. He gave up 9 hits and 4 walks. Again, the Yankees only end up losing 1 game in this series, and also the lineup behind him wasn't too scary. But I don't know, man. This guy was supposed to battle Sevy for the 2. Right now, I've got Tyone over him for the 4. So that's just kind of where I'm at with Frankie, and hopefully it'll change. We've got, what, 5 more starts from him?
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Depends how they juggle it.
I just didn't. He just seems not to be able to. I don't know if it's the catcher. Like, they need to build up a rapport with him. And I understand if Hicks catches that ball, what is it? What would his final line be?
I mean, it depends a little bit of the. Let's see. Because you start juggling the path of the game a little bit. Because I don't think it was 2 outs.
No, it was.
Yeah.
It was. It would have been out of the inning without those 2 runs scoring.
It was 1-0, and then Franco double to left, a Rosarena double to left.
And it's 2 fewer hits.
It's a much different game. I was more upset by his pitch mix, man. Clearly now he's trying to scrap the sinker, and he's going 4-seam his last couple starts. But they were jumping the fastball, and he still kept pumping it in there. It was kind of blowing my mind. The splitter, they were swinging or missing, or just sitting on, like Lau just didn't even bite on it, the splitter. But then he started getting a bunch of flyouts on the fastball. It's like, it's a dangerous game you're playing, Frankie. You're clearly squaring that up. But in the end, without Hicks's mess up, it's probably a decent start, but it still doesn't feel. There's only that one game that felt dominant. And the splitter's such a nice pitch. It should work better. So I don't know.
Yeah, who knows what's going on, if it's Yankee pitch mix with Montas pitch mix, and maybe there's, with the Jordan Montgomery story about his 4-seamer now being good and the Yankees didn't want to use it. I wonder if there's a couple conversations going on in there. Yeah, I mean, it's he walked into the Yankees at a bad time. The Yankees were on their downhill course. But yeah, there's been some feel stuff and stuff that seems off. Like the Rays came out and they swung at the first 2 pitches. Yandy Diaz fouls out, first pitch, and you're like, okay, Jeter night, let's go. Franco doubles, first pitch of his at bat, and you're like, okay, don't love that. Looks like they're swinging Frankie. Don't give one to Randy, and then Randy doubles on one. So like there's a little bit of feel there. I getting a little nitpicky. They only lost 1 game. I don't know. This dude's supposed to be better than Sevy, and it's not even a discussion right now.
Yeah. The Randy one was wild. I go with not a fastball. He went with a sinker. He rode it way in like it was a ball, but Randy, he's kind of nuts when he wants to hit. He's one of those hitters where he'll just hit it.
He's like the best fastball hitter in the league, so maybe don't throw a fastball there.
But he doesn't have much else. That's like the thing with Montas.
Supposed to have a slider and a splitter.
Yeah, but the slider, they like nixed, and now they're trying to bring it back, but it doesn't have good results. Then the splitter is really good, but it needs the fastball to play off. Because then the next at bat, Lau, he went like a lot of splitters, and I think he just took them all. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. I mean, it could have been a decent start. The offense didn't help him, but just need you to like put some together. But my MFer's Hicks. I mean, easily. It's the worst moment of the season. Like, awful. And then I hate that he made me feel sorry for him. Because, like, well, dude, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't make the catch. Nice grab on the run. 70% catch probability. You make the catch, right? Like if you botch that, it's bad. If you make it, it's a nice plus expect. It's expected, but it's plus.
If Clint does that, we say anybody on the team catches that.
But to then mope
Right.
while the ball is down. There's like 3 feet of foul territory. And you weren't in, I don't know, just to not pick it up and throw it in and mope is so awful. With 2 outs, with runners on, is awful. They might rush Bader back or just play Andujar until then. I don't know what you do, but you can't run him out there again. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth, like, it seems like his mental health or mine.
I mean, the dude was already put in timeout, as we like to say. Like, he was.
Yeah, then Benny got broke.
So he got taken out of timeout. Yeah. No, it was a bad situation, and then it's gotten worse. So yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. I know the Yankees they very much pride themselves. If we talked about them not cutting Heaney and handling veterans and being the professional Yankees in that way, that they're gonna try to do Hicksy right, and it's gonna be interesting to see how and when and who gets healthy to see how they go the rest of the way.
Yeah, my guess is not on the postseason roster, and then they try to trade him in the offseason. But a lot can change.
Yeah.
All right, regular award.
Regular Old Awards is brought to you by Manscaped, and holy smokes, I know this isn't part of it. Justin Turner just posted a picture on Twitter. Him, Gallo, Bellinger, and Andre Jackson, and it looks like the boys Manscaped before they did that. Oh my God, it's a little Chippendales picture. And with that, and you people already know, Smooth Sack Summer is slowly coming to end. I know that's a little sad.
Gallo not wearing the fake chest.
But Fresh Ball Fall is on its way, people. Take care of yourself down there. Clean it up. Do it for you. Maybe do it for them, if you know what I'm saying. They have the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker ear and nose trimmer, the Crop Preserver, Crop Reviver, Performance Briefs that we all preach about. That's all part of their Performance 4.0 package. And you will get 20% off plus free shipping with code YANKS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code YANKS at manscaped.com. Thanks, Manscaped.
Appreciate you.
Shave your downstairs.
That picture is pretty funny because Gallo's not wearing a fake chest, but Cody and JT are.
He's got it.
Yeah. Your first award?
Oh, I started staring at the picture again. My first award of the prestigious award section of Talkin' Yanks. We do this at the end of like every recap episode.
Sounds like you're stalling.
What?
That's just a guess by me. It sounds like you're stalling.
To even imply that, man, is kind of like wooga stuff. I am going to go with the Nice Eyes Award.
Nice eyes, nice eyes, nice eyes.
Real eyes, real eyes, real lies.
What the fuck? Thought it was nice eyes, nice eyes, nice eyes. I don't know. Someone that walked a lot.
To the what?
To the it's your birthday. It's your birthday. Who walked a lot?
Who walked a lot this series? Not really anyone.
Yeah, so maybe that's not what you're doing it about. IKF, who walked a lot.
Jimmy, the Real Eyes, Real Eyes, Real Eyes Award is
Thought it was nice
going
eyes.
to. Wait, what's the award?
I thought it was nice eyes, nice eyes, nice eyes.
Jimmy, you get a point. The award is going to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
Mark it in the ledger.
Mark it in the ledger. Proud of you. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. We asked for kind of one more hot streak, and he's kind of started to go. He was hitting. He had a 8-game hit streak coming into today. That was 387, 424 on base, and he was one dotting because he was power hitting IKF. He drew a couple walks today, I believe, and just in general, I think his eye has been better lately. He's a guy that with his approach, he's swinging contact, and I know you've been in a lot of the numbers. The numbers that are impressive is against elite fastballs this year. IKF is one of the better hitters, and I know that is something a lot of hitters struggle with, but with his approach of being in attack mode, it ends up being pretty effective. That, he's something that gets lost in the whole batting average conversation, and we try to talk about it the right way, is the fact he's not a walks guy, but he drew a couple today. He's drawn a couple in the last 14 games up to this, so he's got 6 in his last 15 games, which for him is like a big number. And that's important. So I don't know if it's confidence or seeing the ball well or just being in a hot streak, but that's what makes the batting average matter a little more than just the usual chops. But yeah, I don't know. IKF smiled today. Like I'm been enjoying him recently.
I can't find those 95 plus numbers. I've seen it, and then I've tried to do my own back search. He's got a good amount of hits, but he's like 20th in hits, but that has him as a top 5 versus 95 plus. I don't know how they're figuring it.
Okay.
If anyone know, I want to try and back channel and figure it out, because it's very non-contextual sentence that is now being passed around like crazy. He's like top 5 batters versus 95 plus. I'm like, how?
So what do you want? Let's see if I can help.
What's the measure?
I think it's like fastballs 95 mile per hour plus. What's your batting average against them?
So there's batting average?
I think so. But I think it's high 3s or near the 4s or something like that.
Okay. That's batting average. I'd love to actually see like the numbers on that.
I'll see what I can find for you.
Made me laugh because you said, I've been in the numbers. People hear me on the show, and I took like a month hiatus from doing rants. I spend every 3 days in IKF deep dive.
Right.
And like I told you in the office, like, no, because I remember you were saying, do you know this? And I was like, oh no, I'm still obsessed. I can't figure anything out. Since the Boston series, he has like an 800 OPS. Really good.
Yeah. Because
like you're saying, it's not an empty batting average anymore. He has now hit 3 home runs. He's hit like 7 doubles. He's taking walks. His on base percentage since that stretch is, I think, 350. I saw, and it's a decent stretch. It's like 50 games. I was trying to backdate it to see if it was when Oswaldo played shortstop over him for the first time, and it's a little before that, to give him credit.
Yeah,
let me see if I can pull it up. I have it right here.
Kid, it's something I've talked about is reward players or have options and play the best guys. Maybe the kid coming up gave him a little bit. I know the Yankees would never believe in that.
He's got in the last 23 starts, 295 batting average, 353 on base, 449 slugging, 802 OPS. Great because even when he was hot at the beginning of the year, it was empty. It was just batting average only. when he had that hit streak people were talking about. So I went, and I was happy. I was like, great, like good. Keep up the power and the walks. This is awesome. And then I got frustrated because, you know how his stat line is the same from this year to last year, but we had talked to people when they made the trade and said he's very streaky, and usually that means you get like hot. So I looked up those numbers and was trying to see how many streaks of 20 games he's had with an 800 OPS. And this is his first one of the year.
Yeah, I mean,
and last year he had like 5.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he hit 8 home runs last year or whatever, and he had a 0 as of a couple weeks ago. So it hasn't been exactly mirroring, but yeah.
Yeah, but I'd rather like the good be good.
Right.
Because we just had the good until this stretch. We had the good be average and the bad be terrible.
Yeah.
But like last year, he had stretches where he like carried the Rangers offense for a little.
Yeah.
The Rangers offense.
Right. And OPS is a little different for a guy who's just contact and speed with, a blip of power. But
you can get it up if you have, the on base
or home runs. Yeah. Which he doesn't normally. So his hot streaks are going to be more so batting average. But
not last year is what I'm saying.
The best I can get for you is versus power pitchers, which Baseball Reference qualifies as the top third in the league of strikeouts.
That's not good because it doesn't matter what pitch you hit. It just like if you hit Verlander's changeup or his curveball, that gives you a better batting average versus power pitchers.
Yeah, but I mean, it shows that you're facing the elite strikeout guy. So I don't know. I mean, it's 327, 385, 783 OPS against those guys is really good, especially from a shortstop.
I'm not discrediting it. It's just
you want the fastball stat. That's not the fastball stat. That's just another good stat for him.
Yeah, I just want the context of that. I don't like when there's just blanketed stats that go around and then I don't know what they're actually saying. Like the Fangraphs clutch stat, which now I know I don't care about, or infield DRS.
I think this one matters a little bit.
That one's cool. He's good against. Me and BBD, didn't we look into the power versus finesse stuff and it was like really fucking weird?
I don't remember if it was that specifically, but there's some stat or split like that did get weird. But I'm willing to ride with this.
It's very it's focused on the strikeout pitchers in the league. So
strikeout or power?
Yes, strikeouts. That's how they're measuring power versus finesse pitchers. So a Brett Anderson who doesn't strike anyone out would be considered finesse, and then I don't know, Ohtani would be considered a power pitcher because he strikes everybody out.
So Nestor, because he gets strikeouts now, would be power?
I don't know where he lands. There's power, there's average, and then there's finesse. So depending where Nestor landed, I would assume he's probably average.
They don't have that,
especially
though, right?
when you compare like relievers and stuff like that.
Yeah. I dug into that base reference stat at one point. And it was really confusing. But I'm not trying to knock the IKF stat. I'm just trying to figure out what it is because it's got to be off some way. Like Judge is better at him than hitting fastballs.
Right. Judge is really good.
Oh yeah, he's like that's what I'm saying. That he's not there. It's odd. He's not good at hitting fastballs. Stanton.
Judge is 1 dotting against power pitchers this year. So
yeah, but that's a different stat.
Okay.
I'm looking at the 95 mile per hour plus stat.
Gotcha.
Is what I want to find out about.
Okay. I'll put our research on it.
Yeah. But I like IKF's playing, dude. If he could make the routine plays and then hit like he's hitting right now, I would fucking love him.
Yeah.
I think I would love him the way that people that defended him all season love him.
The guys in the dugout love him.
For majority of the season, he hasn't done that. So I just hope he can ride this out because he is the shortstop. And I hope there's not a botched ball coming in the postseason.
Maybe he won't. Maybe he will.
Yeah. Okay.
What's your award?
My award is the Wrinkle Award.
The Wrinkle Award. Let's see. Wrinkle can mean a couple things. In sports, it's kind of a unique look to your team, or wrinkles, are on a lot of people's faces or bodies as you age. You get wrinkles. I'll go Oswaldo Cabrera.
No. Josh Donaldson comes back as a dad, pimps another single off the wall, but scores a run, and then gets the homer, and then trips and crawls home, and that's fun. Has another hit, and I was like, dude, I had a pretty foolproof plan, and you weren't involved. And now there's a wrinkle. Because what if Donaldson can be good? That would be fucking crazy. He hasn't hit all season. I mean, that'd be a true wrinkle in the batting lineup, in the other positions, in DJ's health and rushing or not rushing. And because there's other positives that happened, I'm allowing that wrinkle to like manifest in my brain. If they lost, but JD did that, maybe I'm saying whatever, he's done it in spurts. Maybe he needed a couple days off, get away, come back. I don't know, but it's a little bit of a wrinkle. It could be a phenomenal wrinkle, or it could be an Averex wrinkle. We will see.
Yeah, we will see. I can't tell you if it's a wrinkle or not yet. The guy, the previous 3 years leading up to the season, had hit in every one of them, including last year. Just a really nice season. 247, 352, and 827 OPS, 26 home runs in $135 games. And yeah, man, the defense has been great. I've preached about him defensively. Every time we've hoped and thought, and St. Louis, he's okay. Well, is this So unfortunately, I won't wrinkle yet, but I would love to allow it because that's who he's supposed to be. I mean, this guy was brought to be like the lineup protector, like the 5-hole hitter we've been waiting for, and it just hasn't been there. So hey, maybe walking into the Yankees in a really low moment. I mean, Saturday's game was the biggest game of the year for the Yankees, and he came in and he came up big. So hopefully maybe they had something on the pitcher or whatever it was, but we'll take it and give us more, please, sir.
Otherwise, we'll iron it out.
Otherwise, we'll iron out that wrinkle.
Mm-hmm. Your final award of the show?
Yes. My final award of the show, the second most prestigious award of the show, is the... What's the word I'm looking for? The red light on the fire alarm.
The red light on the fire alarm.
Yeah.
Siren?
Excuse me?
The siren?
No, just know how if you have a fire alarm in your house, there's a little, some are red, some are green now, but there's a little dot that shows that it's on.
Smoke detector?
Yeah, a fire alarm smoke detector, yeah.
Man, I'm just going to have to take Oswaldo Cabrera.
So close, but so far. Docked in the ledger. Wrong. You just had to age him like a decade. It's Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin, you guys know him as the Yankees starting first baseman. Did not have another big series. 1 hit, 1 run. He actually, in that Fortitude game, he drove a ball to the deep part of the ballpark. A lot of places that could have been a dangerous ball. The red light on the fire alarm, smoke alarm has always, I don't know, I kind of never liked it when I was young, because I was like, wait, this is a light that's on? Like, I don't want this. Like, I'm trying to sleep. You're just working. It's just always there, and it's always been there in my life. And Marwin Gonzalez is always going to be here with this team. When you go around and you look at some of the cats who are playing, Florial, Hicksy, where he's at right now. When Cabrera hit his first career home run, who's next to him on the bench? Marwin Gonzalez, the guy that Cabrera idolized. And Marwin was giving him a little bit of like, I saw you enjoying that home run, but like, it was kind of giving him the old man a little bit. It was kind of giving him the like, hey, you pimped your first home run, that's cool. Guess what? As of right now, it kind of means nothing, dude.
You think so?
Yes. Yeah, there's a nice cut from the Yes crew where I think Marwin was being the dad. And he's just, in this Yankees season, when we look back, he's going to be the red dot on the fire alarm. That it was just like, yeah, he was always there.
You mean smoke detector.
Yeah, fire alarm, smoke detector.
Fire alarm is in the school hallway. You pull it down. It's fucking like you have to manually, you pull it because there's a fire. Smoke detectors, the beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, in your house, you don't have a fire alarm you pull down. Like, that's the fire alarm.
No, it's a smoke detector.
Yeah, the smoke detector that rings out the fire alarm. What in your house tells you if there's a fire?
The smoke detector.
Which is also fire alarm. We got it.
Well, I think I'll allow it, but it's wrong.
Allowed and correct. Marwin, our starting first baseman for a little while, Marwin Gonzalez, people.
Yeah. I mean, he's gone soon in some way or the other.
When he's carrying that trophy.
Yeah, I mean, to the bench or as soon as Rizzo's back or they're trying Oswaldo. Oswaldo sits down and says, dude, they're trying me out at first. So I'll just shut up. If I didn't see that, but good for Oswaldo. Hitting a homer.
Yeah.
Marwin didn't clap for Wandy, so I'm mad at him.
Oh, that's because he fucking loves Wandy, dude. That was so funny.
Wandy was just...
Wandy's goal was to get a laugh out of everyone on the mound, and Marwin didn't crack.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a man.
Oh, my drink. Guzman, huh?
2. Yikes.
Did they DFA him?
Yes.
That's tough, Guzman.
Yeah. He ended up in the Fortitude game, but...
That's so tough. You threw me for a loop there. Marwin gets the award for humbling Oswaldo?
No, for just always being there in this 2022 season. Like
the red light.
The red light, always there.
Be cool if Bader comes back and they try Oswaldo out at first if Rizzo and DJ are still not around. They'll make plays.
They might, but I think left field is going to be the next because they'll have Bader and Judge for center and right. And I don't think either of them they'll make play left. So I think left will be available.
Bader, they could. I have no
idea. I think
idea.
they would with Bader's supposed to be special defensively center field. I think that would be a slap in the face.
Yeah, I think he's
I think they'll
center
slap
fielder.
us in the
But
face.
you got Andujar, Oswaldo.
Yeah, I was talking about Oswaldo.
To play left.
Yep.
But Andujar can play left if he's there.
Mm-hmm.
Or They're not going to start Florial. They're not going to start Tilo. It's Andujar or Oswaldo. Andujar, Oswaldo, Marwin for left field, first base, bench. Until Rizzo or DJ are back. But it looks like Rizzo might be back soon.
Yeah, Rizzo's going to be back, I think, when it's up.
Man, Oswaldo goes to left field. That's going to be fun. First would be fun, too. Love it.
Like to see him try either of them.
He can do it.
My last and final award is the Nerd Greeting.
The Nerd Greeting Award.
Greeting.
What letters are you using?
Like a greeting card, like a hello.
With a G.
With a G, yeah.
Okay, Nerd Greeting. Let's see, who would want to greet the nerds? I mean, Tilo probably wants to beat up the nerds. I mean, I think the guy that should be talked about is Taillon. I don't know what he wants with the nerds, but I'll throw that out.
May the 4th be with you, is what the nerds say that day of the year.
Yep.
And you said it earlier, 4th starter. It's very iffy in my head, but Taillon's been putting together some good starts. Been attacking the zone, so he's like found his fastball and confidence with it again. Has had some good starts, man. I think his ERA is like 3.8 in August and September, or maybe higher because you got a butter knife out 1 August start. Yeah. Take that one away. 3.9. Okay, I thought it was going to get better if I butter knifed it, but it doesn't.
He is who he is. He's like a 3.8 guy. Yeah. Would have been nice if those runs didn't come in at the end with Trevino, and Florial could have been ruled an error very easily, but
yeah. Florial, what was up with that?
Yeah, I don't know.
But currently, that 4th starter. I mean, 3rd too, depending on. I'm penciling Sevy in,
right?
And I don't know what he's going to look like. I don't know, man. You went out and you traded for Taillon. You traded for Montas. We'll see what happens. They could very well piggyback it. I mean, Herman's been better than Taillon and Montas as well. So I know we like him better coming out of the bullpen than starting. But it's very interesting. Taillon's back into the mix, and then I just like pulled up his stat page and I was like, oh, maybe not. So I'm just so curious. That's like, now that the division's somewhat locked up, Taillon, Herman, Sevy, Montas, they're all going to be on my brain as we go down, and very soon, because we're 3 weeks out, 21 games. You got to see how they start lining up starts. Like a week from now, they'll start shuffling things into position that somewhat tells us what they're thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for those guys, in theory, with the Yankees winning the division, it won't matter as much. But I mean, for Cole will matter. And then ideally they'll try to figure it out after that.
Well, yeah, unless they scrap someone from, like, Herman goes to the bullpen for last week.
Extra rest. Yeah. I guess the best way to butter knife Taillon would be in his last 7 starts. He hasn't given up more than 3 runs, which again, I think that's who kind of Taillon can be at his best. Where this game was huge. The Saturday game, he went out, he threw the bullets, and yeah, when he's at his best, I know his fastball is 94, 95, but it's got really good rise on it that he can throw it competitively in the zone and challenge hitters. And yeah, I mean that's just where I like him. He's got a little bit of moxie to him when he's right. And hey, we'll like we said with the infield, I just want to compete, and whoever deserves it deserves it. And that's where I'm at. Between him, Frankie, Herman, whatever they're going to do with him, figure it out.
There's so much crunching to do before we get to the postseason. It's going to be fun. That's going to be scary, too. Damn. Some people we left off that I have no idea right now. Because unhealthy, like for Litke, to be roster crunching. Been on the team the whole year. But my guess is off right now. That's sucks. Britton comes and just takes your spot.
It's going to be really interesting to see who's healthy and who's good. And then that Sunday to when's the first division game? It's a Tuesday or Wednesday?
The first
we know the Yankees won't announce their lineup until the last possible moment.
Tuesday.
So, yeah, Clark's going to be nervous. Lucas is going to be nervous.
Who did Domaso Marte steal a spot from in 09? I don't need an answer, but if anyone knows, because that's the same thing as Britton, basically. He just wasn't around. And then all of a sudden, he's your lefty out of the pen. I know he bumped Phil Koch, who was the lefty, down, and Domaso Marte was the premier lefty in the postseason. But someone else, like was it Mitre or something?
Sergio. Isn't he a bad guy? Did we do that one day?
Yeah.
Big bad.
Yeah.
Tomaso Marte came back end of August.
He did?
Yeah, August 21st was his first time back after some games in April. He's more of the season than in my memory.
Yeah, mine too. For real. I thought he was like late September.
Yeah, I would have guessed like this time.
Wow. It looks like, it's for like August 30th. So trade deadline is when he joined the team as a premier lefty guy.
August 30th? Because the deadline's normally July.
Yeah, July. But August 30th, so not deadline. Month after. They had the waiver wire deadline then.
Right?
That's true.
That's in the past. Funny.
And Hughes went to the bullpen in 09. So the Yankees have done the winning formula. They just don't do it. They just forgot about it. Hughes did it for you guys.
I mean,
he was a huge part of that.
They haven't had a starting pitcher to start game 2. Never mind.
Well, Davey and Hap combo. Use the two guys that we thought were our 2 and 3.
That's tough.
That was bad, man.
I didn't like that.
That was bad.
I still don't like that.
Hughes didn't
That's
go
like
to the
baddest
bullpen.
I've ever been.
Hughes didn't go to the bullpen for the postseason. He was a reliever that year, but whatever. We're not talking about Davey and whatever.
We're not talking about it.
I mean, we did a live stream for that, right?
Yeah, we
Our
were live
reactions
that
are probably
game.
live. That stunk.
Yeah.
I'm excited for postseason live streams again. We only got one last year and didn't even feel like it because it was the wild card game and Trev was there. Like, fuck, that's going to be
It was
fun.
over
All right.
before it started.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate you. Did we miss anything? Judge is now like 69 points away from the batting title over Xander Bogaerts. I mean, if he wins a triple crown, it's nuts.
629.
Just nuts. And I think that's all, right?
Yeah, I love how that's like the next, everyone's doing their Judge Ohtani, and it's like, well, okay, well, so Ohtani's doing really good on both sides, but Judge is going to break the home run record. Well, Ohtani's going to hit 40, and his ERA is 2.5. And it's like, well, Judge's going to win the Triple Crown. Well, let's just keep raising the ante.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they're going to do the co-MVP.
Don't know if we said it at any point during the show, but Rortvedt did get sent down, so Trevino will be back.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah. You got a kid now. He's going to rake.
He needed it.
I get nauseated thinking about when the season ends, and then it's just MVP chatter. You and Rosie, I'll just say go. Rosie and Jake will take it.
Trev's in.
Trev's in, yeah. That's the episode. Go Yanks. Tell him, Grams.
Go Yankees.